What up, world? 502 King Paul coming to y'all with another video, man. Hey, when I look back over life, man, I tried everything in the world to either end up getting myself killed or go to jail. Like, no exaggeration. Almost anything you can think of illegal to do, I found myself getting into it. It was by the grace of God that I ended up getting pulled out of these situations. I was guarded in these situations. Somebody had to be praying over my life, because at that point, I wasn't praying over my life. I was doing everything possible because I thought it was cool, man. I thought it was cool to be out selling drugs. I thought it was cool to be robbing. I thought that the lifestyle of a dope boy and all this, I thought that that was where it was at, man. But it's not until I got older, and like I said, again, by the grace of God, I even was able to get to this point now to where I could grow out of my ignorance, man, to where I could finally start to grow out of my ignorance some. And don't get me wrong, I still got areas of my life that I'm working on, but the mentality has changed so much from back when I was younger. And the older I get, man, I realize that this system, the system that we live in, it runs completely on ignorance. It relies on us being ignorant in order to survive. You think about it, man. Think about what's being pushed at us all the time. Think about the music that's out now. Think about the images. Think about what's being taught inside the schools. Think about everything that's going on in today's world, man. What we see out on social media, all the hate and arguing and bickering and all this. It relies on us to remain divided. It relies on us killing each other. It relies on us staying so doped up or drunk and just doped out, man, to where you can't even make a right decision. It relies on us making these mistakes. It relies on you walking around so emotional that you feel like you have to kill somebody if they make an infraction, if they offend you. It relies on us just doing stupid things and risking our life, man. It relies on the family being torn apart. It relies on women and men remaining separated so that way you can't build up a decent family. Man, I'm sitting here and I'm talking to my daughter, man. I'm talking to her about, some of the children inside of school, and, she tells me some of the stuff about them and whatnot, man. But one thing I notice in common about a lot of the problem children, a lot of the children is having issues, man, is that they come from broken up households. Either they, one of the parents is not there, the mother's not there, the father's not there, or both parents are not there. They're being raised by the grandmothers, they're being raised by, foster care. And don't get me wrong, anybody who's willing to take you in, man, salute them, God bless them. That's great. But a lot of these kids, man, they are smart enough to recognize that, a house where your father's in the penitentiary or your father's just not around, or, your father's a rolling stone out here inside the streets, man, they understand that something's missing within them. They understand that. And a lot of these kids, man, especially, and some adults, I see a lot of adults that look to media. They look to media, man, on how to live their life. They're getting all this slang from the media. They're getting how they should walk and talk from the media. But media, if you look at it, man, the most successful things in media are going to be negative. It's all going to be negative stuff. And you think about it, man, think about some of the things that are legalized in today's world. Just back to this whole ignorance thing. Think about some of the things that they have legalized in this world. They've legalized alcohol. They've legalized prescription drugs, and if you take too much, it can kill you. I'm going to tell you something about alcohol real quick, man. And I have a drink every now and then, but I'm going to tell you something. I make sure I'm very, very careful when it comes to alcohol. This man, right, I seen him stagger into the liquor store the other day, staggering down the street, barely could walk. Staggered into the liquor store, went and got him a bottle and was holding on to it. And he just rocking back and forth inside the line, just rocking back and forth. About to fall over inside the store, right? He makes up to the counter. They sell him this bottle. He goes right back to drinking again. They will sell you enough alcohol to kill yourself, man. They will sell you enough alcohol to get out here on the road and thinking that you got it, you can drive, to crash into somebody and send yourself to either jail or send yourself to an early grave, or send somebody else to an early grave. The system relies on all of this, man. Think about the penitentiary. The penitentiary is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Multi-billion-dollar industry. Especially in America. We got one of the highest populations of incarcerated people in the world, if not the highest. We have so many people that are either in prison, they caught up in the system somehow. Think about how many jobs are grown, how many jobs are kept moving by people just doing a lot of ignorant stuff, to be honest. You know, if you don't commit crime or if they don't find a way to catch you, then this country will completely fall. It will completely fall. It's too many jobs that rely on it. You have the judge, you got the police working the beat, you got the attorneys, you got the clerks down at the courthouse, you got the people who's actually working inside of the penitentiary, staffing it, that's coming from all these small towns. That's why a lot of times you see prisons, they put them in small towns because these people don't have very much business there. They don't have very much other means of income. So the prison is where all of them go to work. The daddy, the mama, the cousin. I know personally here in Kentucky, man, Louisville's a big city, but there's smaller towns. And I know personally people who their brother, the uncle, all of them work inside of these penitentiaries. And that's the main source of income for their town. Think about what happens if these penitentiaries are not, housed with different inmates. Think about what happens if people stop going into prison, if they start making right decisions, if they start moving smart inside of life. Man, the economy just goes completely downhill. It goes completely downhill. Like, what else do they do? And they always put them in some little small, like, redneck towns, man. And these people, they have to work there. There's nothing else for them to do. A lot of the coal mining places, are like Kentucky's big on coal. A lot of that is out the door now. A lot of that's over with. A lot of them people lost their jobs. And in the place, they put those penitentiaries there. And think about all the people who supplied the penitentiaries, with whether it's, commissary, the people who are bringing food. It's all these different companies that are worked into this prison industrial complex, man. And I'm telling you, the whole system would completely fall if it wasn't for the prison system. If it wasn't for people going to jail, they count on you to make stupid decisions. They count on you to do this. All these people talk about weed being legalized, man. Weed's legal here and there. But look, it's a catch-22 with the weed, too. It's a catch-22 with the weed. And the catch-22 is you cannot drive your car and be high. You can't drive your car and be high. That's no different than drinking alcohol and then driving your car. It's still a DUI. And if you like how I used to be and you smoke weed, you smoke and drive. You smoke and drive. You ride in the car and smoke. That's no different than grabbing a bottle of alcohol. In the law's eyes, grabbing a bottle of alcohol and you sitting there drinking while you're driving. It's the same thing. You're going to go to jail for a DUI. You're going to end up in a horrible situation. And trust and believe, if you end up hitting somebody and then your car smells like weed and they can pee test you, tell that you had, you're going to jail. You're going to jail, point blank, period. The other catch-22 is, again, I'm from Kentucky. A lot of people got firearms here. A lot of people own guns. You cannot have a gun and have weed in the car, or you're going to jail. I called a charge. They charged me with a felony for having a half a gram of marijuana in the car. I told this story before. Half a gram of marijuana in the car. And my legal firearm. A firearm, I went to the store, I bought the gun, and I had it in my possession. I actually, I had it in my possession, and then I had they found the half a gram of weed in the car. Now, thank God, once again, because like I said, somebody was praying for me. Somebody prayed for me and covered my stupidity. God kept on shining down and looking out and giving me another chance after another chance. But that was the last time I ever had to get caught up in something where I said, you know what? Something got to change in my life. Because I'm keep on, almost making it, almost just falling into jail, almost falling into a situation where I could lose my life. And I keep on getting saved, but God's not going to keep on saving you. God's not going to keep on saving you. You got to learn how to take every single day for a blessing. We got to learn how to take every day for a blessing. Every time that we wake up and we have a new day to start over, we got to use that as an opportunity to do what it is that God put you here to do, man. And that's the reason why I go so hard with what I go for, man, because I've been through so many situations that could have ended completely just horrible for me. I've had family members. I got a cousin right now in the penitentiary again. And he's caught little breaks here and there, but he's the type that almost every time that he does something major, he's getting caught. He's getting caught and going to the penitentiary. Not everybody gets that opportunity, man. That's why we got to stop living like, okay, what can I get today? How can I get the money today? How can I get the cars today? How can I get the jewelry today? How can I get this today? How can I get that? You got to stop living in that way and start figuring out how to plan for the future. The main thing that messed me up as a youth, man, was that I was always thinking about today. How do I get the Jordans today? How do I get the money, the jewelry, the cars? How do I get the women today? And you're not thinking about the future. So when you just constantly living like that, you bound to mess up. It's like if you play in the stocks, man. If any of y'all familiar with stocks, you know how stocks work. You put your money into a stock, you buy stock, right? And you hold on to it. It's called an investment because it pays off later. You don't just buy a stock and then that same day sell it unless something just crazy volatile happens in the market within a day. And I don't see that happening. But you don't buy a stock and immediately sell it. You got to hold on to it. That's your investment. That's your investment. Being younger, I had no plan. I had zero plans, man. And I made a lot of horrible decisions. You know, doing all the drugs and drinking and, you know, smoking weed all the time, man. To each his own. Whatever it is that you want to do, you do it. But I'm just telling you, man, the system relies on you being ignorant. The more that you're out of it, the more that you're trying to numb yourself, the more that you're trying to run away from the pain, depression, whatever, your circumstances, your situation, your environment, the more that you try to run away from it, the more you put yourself into a fog to where you can end up making a decision that costs you your entire life, man. I just want to put this video out here because, you know, I wish that someone really drilled this stuff home with me. You know, my pops raised me up great. My mom raised me up great. But at the same time, though, they were more so the type to where, you know, my yes is my yes, my no is my no. Don't question what I'm telling you. And I know as a youth, just coming up in this world, man, you need to have someone tell you, look, don't do this because of this. Like, this is a pimp type of situation that we're in right now, to where the government, the world, they want you to be as ignorant as possible. They want to split up the family unit. They want to have you out here just zombie out as possible. I can go down the street, I guarantee you, and find somebody on the corner just nodding off. My dad calls them zombies, just nodding off. You know, they off the heroin, they off the fentanyl, they off whatever, and they just out on the corner just nodding off like zombies. System needs that. They need those people. That's why when you think about it, man, I'm going to finish up this video, but when you think about it, there's only a few at the top for a reason, because they count on the masses to be ignorant. Don't be ignorant. Don't add to the equation, man. Do what you got to do to be the anomaly. Do what you got to do to change your life and change the life around people around you. Don't fall into the trap, man. It's too easy. It's 502 King Paul. Hey, I love y'all. Y'all stay blessed. Till next time, I'm out, man.